back to my channel. Now, probably by the time this video comes out, I'll have probably had a few weeks back at home for the Christmas holidays, and as you can probably tell, I'm recording this whilst I was in Cambridge. But what I just thought I would just do is take the opportunity just to give my thoughts about how the term has gone, how my first term, Michaelmas 2019, has been for me. Not only my first term of this year, but the first term of my second year studying law at the University of Cambridge. So starting off with, in terms of the academia, this time for second year I had 5 modules. So I had contract and land, which I needed to do as part of the qualifying law degree. And then I got 3 options which I chose at the end of my first year. And the ones I chose were international law, administrative law, and family law. And overall, I've really enjoyed the modules. They've been very interesting, especially the ones that I was able to choose. So for example, administrative law, when we did constitutional law in our first year, one of the things we looked at was judicial review. So looking at the grounds of review, to what extent can the courts get involved, and I enjoyed that. So being able to do that in a lot more detail, which is what you can do in administrative law, has been really good. So I've definitely enjoyed it. I've got to admit that when it has come to this term, it's been difficult, and there's been moments where I felt that there's been a lot to do, there's been a lot of work to do. I think that's just been because I've had 5 main modules this time around, whereas for first year I had 4 main modules. Now, I did have the legal skills methodology, but that was only for Lent of 2019, whereas this time around I've got 5 full modules for the full year, and also so I'll have 5 exams in Easter of 2020. So it has felt like a lot. I can remember having one supervision, I think it was like the final supervision for family law, and it was like overall about 140 pages for a set of reading. Now, of course, the key is pick up the key parts of it and make notes and highlight through it, but it just felt like a lot, and sometimes it did feel a little bit too much. But what I tried to do was just to make sure I did it in sizable chunks. So just saying, right, I'll do so many pages today, so many pages tomorrow, and that did help to make it a bit easier, and it also just helped to being organised and just working out what to do and when. So I'll be honest in saying that the workload has been greater, and I think that was to be expected, given that we're in second year and so we're more familiar with how things are to be, and we're familiar with supervisions and what's expected of us. But whilst there has been a lot of work, I've enjoyed it. Like I mentioned, I've enjoyed the modules, I've enjoyed studying them, and the lecturers have been really good, the supervisions have been really good. It's just been good to explore these modules, especially the ones I was able to choose, like administrative law, for example. But yeah, overall, I'm very much enjoying the modules that I'm taking. In terms of social life, what's been great actually about this term is I've been able to meet some new people. So I've met quite a lot of people who are taking law, who I didn't really speak to at all last year, but I've been speaking to this year. So I've got 2 really good friends, Vivian and Kieron, who I've been hanging out with, and we've spent some time together. We went to the law ball, and we spent some time at the end of term together, and that's been great. It's been great to meet new people, to see new people, to get to know new people, and I've been able to do that through meeting fellow law students, but also meeting people through my work at the Cambridge Union. So I've been able to meet new people there, and that's been really good. So I've got my friends from last year, but I've also been able to meet new friends, and that has been good. Sometimes I've wanted to go out and they haven't been available, or people haven't been available, but I've managed to try and get like a balance between, or where I can, between like the work and the social life. And the friends that I've been able to get, and the friends that I've got now, have just been really good, and I've had good times when I've been with them. I mentioned the Cambridge Union there, so this term, and I know I've mentioned it a lot in these vlogs, you probably get a little bit sick now of me mentioning it, but I have enjoyed my time at the Cambridge Union. So this term I've been working as head of events management. So what that means is I've been helping to prepare events, make sure events are organised. I have control of the stewards. So the stewards are the people who will hand the mics out at events, for example. So I've had management over that, and I've really enjoyed that. It's also been a big lot of responsibility for me. It's required me to be obviously a lot more involved in the union, but I've enjoyed it, and I've gained a lot of experience, and it's helped me develop skills, leadership, teamwork, confidence, things like that. and I've definitely been enjoying that. I'm looking forward to continuing with the union. I know I mentioned that in one of my vlogs I had an interview to continue on as HOM, or Head of Events Management. I didn't get that, but instead I've accepted the position of video editor. So I'm looking forward to that and see what that will entail next term for Lent 2020. I've enjoyed the union. It's also been great because there's been social events on. I've gotten to know the committee that we had, and I've got to make new friends as well, and they've been really good as well. So we had like Secret Santa at the end of term. We've had like social events, and it's just been really good. We had like quizzes and pizza, and overall, it's been a good place to develop skills, but also meet new people as well. In terms of what else I've been getting involved with, I've signed up to be in one of the subcommittees of the Law Society. I think it's based on human rights, so which is something I'm interested in, something I did want to take this year, but it wasn't available as a module, so I'm definitely glad to have some involvement, some connection with human rights. Other things, of course, I'm thinking about also is applying for mini pupillage and vacation schemes. I've made some progress on that. I've started on that, doing my research, starting to fill in applications. It has seemed I haven't devoted a lot of time to that, just because I've been so busy and I'm trying to get things organised. But what I'm going to use the whole day is as an opportunity to get those forms filled in, develop my CVs and covering letters, and then get started applying for those mini pupillages and vacation schemes. I've been able to do different things this term, which I've been glad to do. In terms of things I did hope to do, I'll be honest, there were some things I wish I could have done this term. For example, I wish I could have done a lot more cooking. I really wanted to, but I think what came was that I was busy a lot and I was out a lot, so I didn't have a lot of time in Homerton to actually cook things. I did cook, I think, a couple of times. I know I cooked with Henry recently. That will be in one of my recent vlogs that will be out, and that was good, but I wish I did a lot more of that, so I'm going to really try and do a lot more of that next term. Other thing is I did do a bit of banking, so I did have like a spreadsheet on Excel, and I did start to work that out, and it did work actually. I'm glad I did that. I'll be honest, I did spend a little bit too much on food, so I need to work on that for next term. Some things I'm a little disappointed about, but at the same time I'm thinking about the friends that I've made. I'm thinking about I'm enjoying the modules. I'm thinking about these things take time, and I'm not trying to rush myself, and sometimes I can be guilty of putting a little bit too much pressure on myself. I just need to just be optimistic and be confident, and just take my time and know that the support around me is just so important. So I think if I'm just to summarize how this term has been, it's been difficult. Don't get me wrong, it has been difficult. There's been some really difficult times, but what's outweighed that has been that it has been a fun term as well. The law ball was fun. Going to Astrid and Tim's birthday party was fun. Hanging out with Kieron and Vivian was fun. Being at the Kim's Union was fun. Studying the modules has been interesting. Doing the seat revisions, I've enjoyed the seat revisions. They've been very interesting and intellectually stimulating. So yeah, then that's what's kind of outweighed that, and I always like to try and focus on the positive aspects of things. So yeah, that's just some of my thoughts about how this term has gone. If you've got any questions, any advice you might want, or any suggestions for videos, put them in the comment section below. Try and get to them as soon as I can. I will try and get to them. Alternatively, you can follow me on Facebook and Instagram. You can also do the other things as usual, like liking the video, subscribing to my channel by clicking the bottom right hand corner, and you can hit that notification bell to keep up to date. Make sure you do so, and I hope to see you all in the next video.